country from a place unknown. And I sure as hell plan on keeping it that way after what I have heard about the mandatory vaccines, which I have been talking about for a minute now.
One issue that has come up is once you do have a vaccine, how do you properly distribute it? How do you get it out quickly to millions?
Well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up.
Military? You really want to talk military? Yo, we're talking, listen, I don't care what president you are. I don't care what leader you are of what country. You all follow the same agenda. Trump's threatening the military. Military. You know what that means? That's martial law. That's civil war. That's people, you don't have no choice no more. This is what happens when they call out a pandemic. You have no choice.
3 days of hearings are underway. Politicians there are studying legislative amendments that would make vaccinations mandatory for public school students unless they have a medical exemption. Religious and philosophical exemptions would no longer be allowed.
Religious and philosophical exemptions no longer available. The industry is kind of like being an alcoholic. If you're drinking, and you stop cold turkey, it's not good for you. There's a chance that you could die. There's a chance that they could die if they cold turkey with the population of over 7 billion people try to force something down your throat. But they massage it so properly. So, is it forced? It's a special type of forced. They don't need to come in with guns and put it to everybody's head. They're smart. These people are smart. They put you where they need you, and then they move you and shift you around to where you're supposed to be based on their views. Exemptions are no longer going to be there for those that, claim religious exemptions. That one's gone. Philosophical, we ain't having that either. So there's not really much left but to roll up your sleeves and hit yourself with some vaccines. But I'm going down swinging. I'm not, you better not. You come close to me with that vaccine, you're going to catch my sandals right across your face. Yo, I'm telling you, you're not playing game.
Well, the people still would have a choice about whether they wanted to get their children vaccinated. But if they want to send their children to public school, then there's a public health issue.
Yeah, you do. You definitely have a choice. Mm-hmm. The only choice we're going to have is to roll out the right sleeve or roll out the left. Let's be real.
Talk about a dramatic day at the Capitol. Protesters line the halls trying to stop a plan to crack down on medical vaccine exemptions. But the final vote went on.
Ayes 27, noes 11, the measure passes. Members, we are...
And just look at what became law today. Kids with an exemption issued before this coming January 1st can keep attending school until they hit the next milestone. That's either kindergarten or 7th grade. But starting in 2021, it's going to get a lot harder to get a vaccination exemption, and kids without them have to either get vaccinated or they can't attend school.
Let me get this straight. You have to get vaccinated or you can't go to school, but if you don't put your kids in school, the kids get taken away from you.
The form also requires a doctor to certify that the information she or he is providing is, quote, true, accurate, and complete. And the law says that providing false information could get that doctor in legal trouble. Also, the state will create a standardized system to track not only immunization levels in schools, but also which doctors are submitting unusually high numbers of exemptions.
So for all those good doctors out there that had good intentions of possibly tweaking the system a little bit, not gonna happen.
7-year-old Olivia and her parents came down from the Reading area today to protest at the Capitol.
We listened to a pediatrician that said it was in her best interest to have her vaccinated at 2 months, and she was vaccinated and she had a terrible reaction. We spent 3 weeks in ICU and we almost lost her. She ended up having a brain infection and a blood infection.
I asked if they were able to pinpoint exactly what caused that reaction.
We had a couple of specialists that did tell us that they had sort of felt that it was the vaccines and for us to not vaccinate.
If we talk schools now, it's going to be a hard conversation of, me saying, don't put your kids in school. Because we've been built a certain type of way to believe that school is mandatory and that we need to be in school, to the point that if I was to say, do not put your kids in school, you're going to look at me like I'm some kind of alien, right? But what I'm saying is 100 years ago, we never had a schooling system like we do now, where it's mandatory to put your kids in this school. I'm not saying don't put them in school. I'm just saying this is the system. Ooh, I like that. Let me get a nice little picture here. So just understand the system that we're in. We now have to put our kids in school. Great. I appreciate the knowledge, even though I don't appreciate that they have control over what knowledge goes in the books of school. So now that the kids have to go to school, and if you don't put your kids in school, Children's Aid get involved and they take your kids away. Step number one, kids are in school. They pick and choose what they want to put in the books. So how are they going to be able to get us with vaccines? This is what they're going to be doing. Because 22.6% of the population are children. 9% of the children go to private school, the rest go to a public school. So once you put your kids in school, they become public property. Anything goes in there. They want you to wear masks, you're wearing masks. But pay attention to what I'm trying to tell you. Because children now are going to school. They have to go to school. They also have to, while in school, listen to whatever the school tells them. They're going to run tests. And when the tests come back positive on the children, it's going to be then mandatory for the children and the entire family to be tested. This is how they're going to get people. I said there's going to be mandatory vaccines. How they paint the picture doesn't matter to me. Also, I said cryptocurrency is going to skyrocket. And it's going to. It's going to happen because the agenda is built that way. Think, how are they going to control? Let's just use common sense. They need to control money and power. How are they going to do it? One currency, one world order, one government, less population. How they do it, whether there's vaccines, drop an atomic bomb, I don't know how they're going to do it. But now the picture's coming together. Nobody knows the details because we don't go to the Bohemian Grove the last 2 weeks of July every year with the top leaders of the world to figure out what the fuck they're gonna do. But what we do know is we use common sense. Now that we have a pandemic, what's gonna happen is they can use certain laws to pass anything that they want because it's scarcity, and they want to scare people and say, hey, we need to protect you. We need to lock everybody down. We're worried about you. Okay, guys, now let's make sure we get them through the kids. Get them through the system that we've already paved the way. We've already paved the way for them. So what are they going to do? That's what they're going to do. They're going to target the children. They're going to run the tests. And when these faulty ass garbage tests, which have already been proven to be faulty, come back positive, and then they hit the kids with the tests, it's going to be mandatory for kids to be vaccinated. And if they do come back positive, which they will, what's going to happen is the whole family's going to be tested. And good luck if that shit comes back negative. That's all I got for you right now. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell notification, and if you didn't like it, oh well.